Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screezilla here and I hope you're all well. And you join me in War Thunder, flying the Palliers Dewoitine D.510. Now this plane is a premium plane, but you did get it for completing just a flight, I think it was, back with the when the French were introduced. Now let's take out a tracer rounds. Now, this plane is an interesting one. It's a bit of an ugly plane. Whoop, didn't mean to fire off my guns there. Let's just rearm before we take off. We'll join the fight a little bit late. It's a bit of an ugly plane, really. It's based off the D500, which I believe we actually have one or two in the game. And, well, it's BR 1.3. It's basically a very early plane. It was designed in the 1930s, late 20s sort of era design of planes, you know. And it's pretty much a sort of basic monoplane design from the time. Sort of like things like the Eindecker and things like that. It hadn't really progressed much. Now, one thing this plane does well is actually climb. As you see there, it's got a great lift coefficient, because it's so light. This thing weighs nothing at all. It's got a very good engine in it as well. It's got a, I think it's got the, well, it's got a Y12 in it. I can't remember the actual engine type, but it's a very powerful engine, basically. Now, this plane was one of the main fighters for France in the interwar period, and it did serve during the Second World War. Specifically, it served in Africa with the Escadrille Régionale de Chasseurs in North Africa, and also the Escadrille d'Aéronautique Navale, naval aviation squadrons. So it had a pretty decent service, all in all. SM-79 is looking to get a bit of a pounding there, but it looks like one of the MiG-3s managed to crash before getting into it. So it's a bit of an outdated plane, but it's not a terrible plane. It's an all-metal design, which was quite odd at the time. There wasn't many all-metal planes at the time. Plus, it's a monoplane, as I say. So again, it's a bit of an oddity and a bit of a sort of a interesting design from the time. It has got a very good cannon on it. You've got a 20mm cannon set in the nose of this plane, as well as two 7.5mm machine guns in the wings. Now, those machine guns don't do much, but they're there to cause some trouble if need be. Now, this plane is named after Jean Pellier, I believe, who was an aviation enthusiast and female pilot in the before the First World War. She most notably sort of got involved in getting females into the war, pretty much. She founded a squadron for ambulance drivers and ambulance staff, nurses and the like, and that's where she sort of got her fame from, pretty much. Let's see, our 32 is a bit of a problem. Now we're going to get some altitude here. As you see, we're pretty good at getting altitude in this plane. It's not a terrible little climber. It's not exactly fast, but it's not a bad plane. It has a good turn capability to it. The metal cockpit, things like that, really do help with it. Now let's see if we can catch this 109 napping. Probably not, because, you know, it's me and I'm using a fighter plane. But as you see, with dive speed, it's actually pretty fast. Now that 112 is turning in on me. Dive below him, hopefully. go. Now, we don't have any flaps, but this plane does have a relatively good turn time. But, well, 3 planes on the 6 is never going to work out well. But all in all, this is a pretty good little seal clubber. If you don't fly like a moron like myself. Perfect landing. Perfect landing. So it's a fun little plane to get. If you do get it, it is worth using. The 20mm is a pretty good little gun on it. Of course, if you don't get ganked by a load of higher BR planes, it is a bit more fun. So let's just return to the hangar and take a quick look at it. Not being up-tiered really does help in this plane. So, as you see, an interesting part here is actually the Y engine, is you can see the engine blocks actually stick up into the design of the plane. So the Hispano-Suiza engine here, that's what I was thinking of, has 820 horsepower, which is batshit crazy for this plane, as it weighs nothing at all. This plane is a real sleeper, and it really does have a good lick of speed to it. Now, top speed is not great at 245 miles per hour, but it climbs incredibly well. It has no weight whatsoever. And that 20mm, as you saw, will make short work of any enemy planes. The turning on this plane is what really makes it, though. Even though it doesn't have any flaps, it has such a good little turn time. And also, actually, I just noticed you have got some frontal armour, which is quite odd. Nice little addition there. The 7.5mm machine guns, they're pretty hopeless. You're not going to do much with them. Your main bread and butter is your cannon. The 404 cannon is not my favourite gun in the game, but at 1.3 BR, well, you're going to have fun with it. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Just a quickie today, just a little bit on this plane. I might do some more of these in the future, just brief little history lessons with a little bit of gameplay as I go. Okay, guys, until next time, have a good day, and this is Screezler out. Bye-bye.